Shalom and good day, all. This is Tehillim29 back again for some DC reviews, and in these DC reviews I'll be covering Batman and Robin Year 1, Issue 4, along with Nightwing, Issue 122. I'll now get things ready and organised for the first one that I'll be reviewing. So starting off with first things first, does this cover in any way, shape or form connect to something that is happening inside with the story? It does, to which I give it a 7.5 out of 10. Now it's time to move into the area of the internal art, as well as having a look at what is happening story-wise with the characters, as we have a look around the beginning, middle, and of course the end. So as the story begins, we have Bruce Wayne and Dick Grayson, who are basically at the Gotham Port or the Gotham Harbor, and they're doing a bit of a mission, almost like a somewhat reconnaissance mission of sorts, of trying to gather information of one of the villains that are in the area. As we start to move towards the middle of the story, Bruce Wayne gets a bit of a visit from the social worker just to check up to see how Dick Grayson is going, whilst working with Bruce Wayne. And last but not least, towards the end, to which we get to see Dick Grayson finally going to school. So for the internal art, I give it a 7 out of 10. Now it's time to move in relation to the area of the story. So first things first, do we get anything in relation time-wise? The answer is no, we don't. Next is in relation to the locations that are visited in the story. We had the Gotham Port, as well as the Wayne Mansion. And last but not least, the school. Next is the cast of characters, to which we get Dick Grayson Robin, Bruce Wayne Batman. We have Grimaldi and what is happening with him and his family in relation to what is happening in the story. We have Ms. Lynn, who is the social worker, or Miss Laura Lynn. And last but not least, the best person that holds the family together, and that is the character of Alfred. For the overall story rating, I give it a 7 out of 10. Now it's time to move into Nightwing issue 122. So as we start to move into Nightwing issue 122, does this cover in any way, shape or form connect to something that is happening inside with the story? In some essence it actually does, to which I give it a 7.5 out of 10. Now it's time to move into the area of the internal art, as we have a look around the beginning, middle, and of course the end, and also what's happening story-wise with the characters. So as the story begins, we catch up with Nightwing, Dick Grayson, who's also catching up with some members who are sort of like help trying to run the city, including like the commissioners at Bloodhaven and whatever else. Whilst this is happening, we also have the character of Olivia as well, who is called Dick Grayson's sister. Can someone kill her off, of course? As we start to jump towards the middle of the story, we see the discussion that advances further, and we learn that this character has a connection to someone in Dick Grayson's past, which I do actually quite like the idea of. And in relation to the area of the circus, though I've heard some people don't quite like the idea, I think the idea is actually good, because if I remember, I think the character of Blockbuster is also a villain that came out of a circus, and it would actually be nice to see some more characters as well that might be maybe even connected to, say, other circuses that the Grayson family might have actually met in their travels. And I think that would be really good to see included in the story. And last but not least, towards the end, to which Dick Grayson returns back home, catches up with Barbara Gordon, and there's a bit of a later discussion that happens. So for the internal art, I give it a 7 out of 10. Now it's time to move in relation to the area of the story. So first things first, considering how far we've got issue-wise, did we get any comic book references to any of the previous issues that might be important to this story or run? The answer is no. Next is the area of time. Nothing mentioned in the area of time. The location, of course, taking place in Bloodhaven. The cast of characters consisting of Dick Grayson Nightwing, Olivia Pierce, who's considered his sister in the story, and one other character, which I have written terribly, and of course Barbara Gordon. The overall rating I give it is a 6.5 out of 10. Until then, let's keep it colourful and have yourself an awesome day.